Hey guys, it's D again. You do not have a problem with drugs and alcohol. Boom, right? That flies in the face of convention of everything you've ever been told or what you believe. And let me preface by saying right now, I'm not saying that alcohol, drugs, any sort of negative external solution, gambling, overeating, oversleeping, internet pornography, phone addiction, technology addiction. I'm not saying those things haven't caused problems in your life. They definitely do. And maybe you've lost everything because of those. Maybe you've lost family. Maybe you've lost friends. Maybe you've lost jobs because of those negative external solutions. But really, what those are is your attempt to try to get balance back in your life, right? That's what I talk about here is achieving balance. So I'm new to this YouTube, vlogging thing, and I don't have all the little boxes up here or the links down here. I'm kind of old school, right? I'm pushing 50 and I'm just kind of getting new into this game. But I did kind of create a little chart, so to speak, and this is what it is, right? And I'm not in focus, so bear with me. But a balanced life, right? And so these are the basics of a balanced life, right? You have, in this section, you have work, you have shelter, you have your basic needs. Those are things you need to have to function in life. Down here, you have some sleep, you have some relaxation, you have family time. Are you a good dad? Are you a good mom? Are you a good role model for the young ones in your life? That's 25% of the focus. Down over here, I have social networking, volunteering, giving back, getting outside of yourself, not isolating, being a productive member of your society. And then up here, of course, I have self-care and self-advancement, whatever that happens to be in your category of life, whether it be going to a church or some sort of spiritual influence on your life, whether it be working out at the gym, whether it be reading, whether it be mindfulness, doing some guided imagery or some meditation, proper diet, whatever you use to try to self-advance yourself. So, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, these are the things you need to have and to work on to have a balanced life. I think we all want to achieve that. Now, nobody achieves everything equally 100%. Nobody's perfect, right? But these are the things that I feel with me and my personal experience, my overcoming my drug addiction, my balancing my life with my mental illness, which is bipolar and generalized anxiety disorder. These are the things that I try to achieve to do to try to have a balanced life. Now, if you can see out here on the edges, I kind of put some things here in those outer boxes, that dark area. In the gray area, we have basically your positive and negative influences in life. Those are the things that are working outside of you that have influence on you trying to achieve a balanced life. And some of those are really negative. Some of them are positive. So down here, I have basically your mental illness, your disabilities, addiction. Those are things that try to throw your balance out of whack, right? And then, of course, there's other factors too: childhood development, socioeconomic status, isms, racism, sexism, homophobic tendencies of the people around you. So we have challenges, and that's in that dark circle outside. And so when we have mental illness, that's not our fault. We're born with that. Like for me being bipolar, that's a chemical imbalance in my brain that I can't control. So I take a medication for that to try to get me in balance. So, and then also some talk therapy. I have my own therapist and I work through my own coping skills to manage my mental health. And when I do that, then I can achieve more balance in this area. So how does that, navigate down to your drug addiction and your alcohol addiction or any of those negative gambling, any of those negative influences? Well, if you're out of whack, if these influences, if you were raised in a very dysfunctional, abusive home, alcoholic, drug addicted parents, single parents, if you were raised in a community or in a neighborhood that had a lot of violence, a lot of fear in your life, things like that are going to throw that balance out of whack, right? So what do we try to do to get our life back in balance if we're not educated, if we're not doing these healthy things? Usually we resort to drugs, alcohol, and all those negative influences to try to throw our life back into balance. And it doesn't usually work. It doesn't. Now, I'm not saying you can't go out and have a beer after work. I know a lot of people that are able to function and try to keep and do keep balance in their life by having a drug or an alcohol. I know people that smoke marijuana that are perfectly functional. I know people that drink 2 or 3 beers a night that are perfectly functional. I know people that like to go to the casino and play slots or bingo or whatever, and they have fun doing that. The people that can't do that are the ones that had a lot of negative influences based on their mental illness and disabilities. They use those things that other people can use in a healthy way. And we all believe, us addicts all believe, that those things we do, the drugs, the alcohol, the partying, the gambling, whatever it happens to be, is just fun. And it does. It starts out just fun. But when our life balance gets out of whack, we try to use those to balance it, and that's why it doesn't work. Very rarely it doesn't work. I worked with addicts in the chemical dependency field for 5 years. I've worked in mental health with co-occurring disorders for several years, and I've worked with addicts in my own personal life through my 12-step program. And I can tell you, in those 20 plus years of doing all that, those negative influences very rarely work to put your life in balance. So to summarize, for this particular video, and we'll go into a lot of these specific details that I talked about in specific videos, this is just an overall general overlook of the problem. The problem is you're out of balance. The problem isn't your drug and alcohol addiction. Those are the things you try to balance yourself. So yes, you do need to get sober if this is killing you. You do maybe need to go to a gambling inpatient program. You have to, first of all, take care of those things that are screwing up your life. But really, the real focus is balance. Getting your life back on track. I know plenty of people, for example, you've got this work shelter thing. Get a job, right? You got to pay your bills. You got to put food on the table. You got to have a roof over your head. And you got to get sleep and relaxation. 8 hours of sleep for me. If I don't get it, I'm in trouble. And the other things too that, self-care and self-advancement are difficult when you're in the midst of an addiction. But once you get sober, once you start to remove those negative influences that throw you out of balance, that's when you need to work on yourself. Because just because you get sober doesn't mean that balance is achieved. That's just a barrier to help you. So again, the problem isn't your drug and alcohol addiction. The problem isn't chemical dependency or gambling or any of that stuff. The problem is your balance. And when you can get balance back in your life, believe me, from personal experience, it's a miracle. That's the miracle we're waiting to have happen. So I'm going to talk more in other videos about different things, anxiety, different things that are those negative influences that you can work on and develop coping skills to help yourself. But don't, in my opinion, I'm going to have a lot of professionals or different people that are going to comment down below that say I'm full of shit. And okay, I welcome that. Let's have a discussion about it. Let's learn and grow, because really it's about making ourselves better people. And so that's my opinion. I'm going to throw it out at you. Take it or leave it. Feel free to make comments. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to have more stuff. I love the discussion. Let's be better people. Let's achieve balance. Have a good one, and have a great weekend.